It seems there's people reporting that there's bomb threats.
I think that it is an illustration of the attacks we're seeing on our democracy. Sometimes they're blatant and explicit in the manner of these bomb threats, and we have to understand this as part of the general approach the Trump administration has taken to trying to intimidate voters with baseless allegations of voter fraud as a means of trying to repress the voice of Americans across this country.
I don't know if he's going to get that question again today, but the general approach the Trump administration has taken to try and intimidate voters, unless we heard him incorrectly, what in the world is he talking about?
He is serving up a Kamala-sized...
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Donald Trump and everybody else on the Republican side are quite literally saying this is the most imminent threat to America, that he is going to do 9/11. There are literally actual congresspersons that are saying he's going to do 9/11, man. What do you mean? These are the very same people, by the way, that turn around and go, oh, if you call out our fascist policies as fascist, that means you're trying to kill us. Okay? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. He said he's going to pull funding from New York. Stephen Miller has endorsed Andrew Cuomo. Another glaringly obvious example of the uniparty attitude against an anti-establishment candidate. And unfortunately, you're seeing this mania come from Wall Street Journal op-eds too. Yeah, Zohran Mamdani's victory will imperil Jews and embolden totalitarians everywhere in the world. If New York falls, the entire free world may again totter on its foundations, writes BHL, Bernard Henry Levy. Okay? And of course, you know, no disrespect to the French, I think he is. But of course, this is a guy who I think, if I'm thinking of the same guy, this is a literal, okay? The guy who wrote this Wall Street Journal op-ed is a straight up, okay? Yeah. Oh, look at the reply. Never mind. Did Levy refer to of a 13-year-old child as a youthful error or not? That's because in many ways, reactions differed little. There was Whoopi Goldberg, the American actress, claiming to find some difference between Mr. Polanski did and what she called. And there was Bernard Henry Levy, the French celebrity intellectual, allowing as how Mr. Polanski, 43 at the time, perhaps had committed a youthful error. 43, raping a 13-year-old, 43-year-old Roman Polanski, raping a 13-year-old, and the guy who wrote that piece on Zohran Mamdani said that it was a youthful error. Anyway, here's Stephen Miller endorsing.
As far as New York is concerned, as you've talked about, as we've said, unfortunately, the anti-Mamdani vote is being split between Cuomo and Sliwa. And President Trump tonight put out a statement being clear that if you vote for Sliwa, who's polling at about a third of where Cuomo is, you're just throwing your vote away. The anti-Mamdani vote, which is really the pro-New York City vote, the pro-America vote, needs to unite behind the leading candidate, and that's Andrew Cuomo. As far as New York is concerned, as you've talked about, as we've said, unfortunately, the anti-Mamdani vote is being split between Cuomo and Sliwa. And President Trump tonight...
Bitch, if there is no other reason, and you don't actually need another reason other than the good policies that Mamdani's platform represents, but if you were looking for any other reason, these are some of the worst shitheads that will suffer. Okay? These are some of the worst shitheads that are already losing their minds. Okay? Mask off, neo-Nazis. They will be crying delicious and salty tears if, inshallah, Zohran Mamdani wins the mayoral race. And he deserves to. Okay? He has run a hell of a campaign. And you all, many of you played a role in this. Many of you knocked on doors. Many of you canvassed. Many of you spread the word, got your immediate family members to be on board, okay? There will be far-reaching positive consequences of this, okay? Michael Land says, with each passing second, I'm more bullish on Zohran Mamdani exceeding 55%. That was my lock. Manhattan and Brooklyn continue to turn out in droves with lines reported across base neighborhoods. We're pacing for a record number of votes. The vibes are screaming landslide. Did you see this?
Senator, the next mayor of New York City. Hey! All right. How you doing, man? How you doing? All right. You're doing great, huh?
I'm doing better now.
What a politician!
I didn't know he was going to show up. He finally did show up.
All right, I'm going to be saying that you're inspiring the entire world. How's that?
Low pressure.
A little pressure. There's truth to it. No. There is a reason why the whole bloody world is watching this election.
He's right.
The story of this is not going to be the greatest thing we ever did, was run this campaign.
This is why, in spite of my criticisms for many on the left flank, okay, of the American Democratic Party, like, the reality of the matter is, these guys, they've shown up, they've given people the audacity of hope, okay? And that is the reason why people are so terrified. That's the reason why so many capital owners are losing their minds, okay? That's it. I know these guys are not, implementing the Marxist vanguard, the Marxist-Leninist vanguard that you believe is imminent, but you have to remember, these things take time, okay? Coalition building, movement building, it takes time. And it has to reflect the broader consciousness of the population. There is a reason why you have seen a sea of hate, a torrent of unrestrained hatred striking every avenue they can. This race does have global impact. Bro, you need to stop chastising and acting like you know more than anyone to your left flank. Today is a day of excitement, so I will not be hearing from any of you. Okay? Oh my God, just cover the election, you liberal. I'm not. It's hard. It's hard to shake my confidence, at least for the time being.
It's going to be what we did after we won. So much of what is so difficult for so many in this moment is the feeling that they are merely subjects. This is a movement to change them.
For too long, my friends, freedom has belonged only to those who can afford to buy it. The oligarchs of New York, they do not want the equation to change. They will do everything they can to prevent their grip from weakening. The truth is as simple as it is non-negotiable. We are all allowed freedom.
What's the point of having an idea if you don't believe that you could implement it? What is the point of our politics that is forever theoretical? And it will be difficult, there will be contradictions, but really it's about your will. The things that we can do, it is an immense opportunity to deliver things that transform working people's lives.
And on November 4th, that is exactly what we will tell the world. We can make City Hall a place where New Yorkers come to expect the future, not just failure.
You really inspired us. Stick up to the billionaires. Keep fighting the good fight.
I think that's the thing that I'm most proud of in this campaign, is not the successes, it's that we took so many swings. Because swinging is an example of being unsatisfied with the options that we currently see. It's an illustration of the fact that we have to build something more than this. That ethos that we need not wait for anyone else, it is an ethos I hope that many will carry with them. I want this to be the moment where more than 90,000 people are transformed into New Yorkers who are taking actions in different parts of their own lives to create the world that we all deserve.
What do you hope all these volunteers do after the campaign?
That they understand that this is part of a lifelong struggle, not an electoral one. You have joined a movement for the rest of your life. Now, however you want to be a part of that movement is your decision, just as long as you continue to be a part of it. They see themselves in this campaign. They see the arrogance that we have, that these ideals could apply to us too.
Let City Hall, with our compassion, our conviction, and our clarity, be the light that our city and our nation so desperately need. Our time has come, New York. Our time is now. Thank you very much.
This is really lame and anti-revolutionary, to be honest. Lamau, this isn't transformation law. He's a brand who's operating within the confines of existing structures. Yes, you're absolutely right. And he's sheepdogging all of the revolutionary leftists back to the Democratic Party. You're right. Good things are not possible. This is nihilism. This is that attitude that was just demonstrated right there is not reflected by a broader population. So it doesn't really matter necessarily. And I'm not going to take debate on this, but Sparkle's Cosmic Heart says, so much of this election is tied into HasanAbi's literal worldview and perception of politics, and his win is a big indication he was right. So chatters need to calm down. This is important to him, and a lot of us are in avoiding potentially more harmful actions in the future. There is a method for change here, okay, that has been demonstrated. And as someone who has experienced so much failure of this sort, to basically unlock the class consciousness within the base, to even give people the tools to communicate their desires, to give people some crumb of hope, a semblance of hope, in spite of the endless hurdles that are thrown in your way, okay? In spite of all of the forces of capital doing everything in its power to try and propagandize the population against the notion that better things are possible, okay? In spite of all of that, good organizing and good politics should be able to win out, okay? That is at the heart of the democratic process, even in a bourgeois democracy. This doesn't mean that a revolution will come from reforms, okay? I'm not saying that. A lot of you would rather look at any sort of incremental change in the positive direction as a negative thing. And I kind of understand where people are coming from because they've seen so much defeat. They've only known defeat. They've only experienced loss. They've only experienced an erosion of hope, okay? I understand where you're coming from, but what do I always say? You cannot succumb to nihilism. You have to maintain revolutionary optimism. And a part of that is taking a disciplined approach and then taking in the victories that you get along the way instead of casting them aside and saying, this doesn't matter. This doesn't mean anything. If it didn't mean anything, if it did not mean anything, why do you think all of the forces of capital are using every social tool they have at their disposal, eroding what remains of their political capital to go against this dude? They understand the danger of giving the working class a crumb of hope, but you don't. You think you're going to magically create the revolutionary vanguard in a country that is antagonistic to working class movements, that it has no class consciousness whatsoever. So stop, okay? Take a deep breath. I understand why people are cynical. I get it, okay? That is the reason why I'm restrained and not running around and you know, claiming victory before it happens. But in a country that is at the heart of empire, there will be no magical single-handed approach, like no magical antidote pill that everyone can take where they automatically become class conscious and rebuild the structures necessary to create pressure against capital, the forces of capital, okay? We have nothing in this country. So no, I'm not going to attack those who are trying to build something, anything, okay? And I hope that you guys will understand my position eventually.
My question for Get Out the Vote today is for my leftist friends who think that voting and participating in electoral politics, even on the local level, is a waste of time. Why is it important? And that have said, oh, you can't do anything because you got to work with the Albany. What do you say to those people that we're trying to convince today that it is worth it to them to go out and vote in this election?
So I think the key would be that we're not asking everyone to become an electoralist. We're not asking everyone to say that the only way to change the city that we love is through the ballot box. What we are saying is this is 5, 10, 15 minutes of your time. This is one way to bring that future forward.
Facts.
And this is one way to actually tangibly cast your vote in support of a vision of a city that belongs to all of us. And then you can do all of the other organizing that is so critical to winning that future, whether you're organizing tenants, whether you're on the front lines of immigration advocacy, whatever it may be. We need every single way to win the future that we deserve.
Right. We can go back to hating right after we vote.
Yeah, come on, please.
Go back.
Yeah. I think that you should not stop your criticism of Zoran Mamdani if he is elected, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. If you see something that he's doing that you don't consider to be appropriate, that you consider to be bad or wrong or antagonistic to the movement that you thought he represented, then it is appropriate for you to let your voice be heard. You also must be cognizant as to why so many people despise this movement, okay? Why are they so fearful if this movement does not represent even a fraction of change in the appropriate direction? Why? Why have they been so antagonistic? Why haven't they simply said, like, why hasn't Chuck Schumer come out and been like, I love Zoran Mamdani. He is running a campaign of affordability. Why did it take Hakeem Jeffries until the very last moment to say, oh, well, you know, he's all right, I guess? Why? Why is it that the Republican administration, under the guidance of Donald Trump, is actually lending support to someone like Andrew Cuomo? Why is that the case? We have to be more disciplined. We on the left have to be more disciplined. And if you can't find yourself to believe that someone is sincerely advancing the causes that you hold near and dear, then you can at the very least understand why those that are antagonistic are so loud in their response to someone like Zoran Mamdani, who I always say is basically just trying to do modest expansion of pre-existing constructs within our current governance, right? Rent freeze. It's happened before. Fast and free buses. Zoran himself has been able to advance this cause. Why is it that they're so mad about even just a modicum of change in the direction of the working class, like alleviating some of the pains that they experience? Why? Think for a moment. Why they did this to Bernie Sanders? After all, Bernie Sanders is a social fascist, right? Bernie Sanders is a Zionist. He's a social fascist. He doesn't represent change at all. Or at best, he wants to take the super profits that we are extracting from the global south and redistribute it back to the labor aristocracy, you might say. So why is it that there was a faucet, a torrent, an unlimited torrent of hatred launched against him? Perhaps it is because, especially since the Reagan era, but this predates the Reagan era as well, but especially since the Reagan era, the hegemonic neoliberalism has been able to so effectively destroy what remained of a semblance of hope for a better future for the working class, was so effectively silenced, so effectively quashed, destroyed, that even the most modest advancements, even the most marginal advancements in the positive direction for the working class, a campaign on pure affordability alone, receiving any sort of positive coverage, receiving any sort of success, is considered terrifying.
Mamdani, he represents almost in a pure form the class struggle. You know, the famous line by Karl Marx in the beginning of the Communist Manifesto. The first line is, "The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles." The history of all hitherto existing societies is the history of class struggles. And we're seeing in the Mamdani campaign, it's clearing the air. You can't say a fellow named Mamdani is weak on race questions, ethnic questions, religious questions. It's not going to work. So it's a straight out class struggle. His campaign was just like Bernie's. Bernie's was about affordability. And that's Zoran Mamdani's, about affordability. But in this case, you can't use any of the woke weapons against him because his name is Zoran Mamdani. He's clearly not a old white male, you know. So it's a clear-cut class struggle. They're very scared of it.
I'm worried about Sliwa's chances today. Are the Sliwa heads cooked? Fear not. The proletarian vanguard will be strong today. The Sliwa heads, Curtis Sliwa heads, if you're in line, stay in line. Okay? Sliwa sweep is imminent. I swear the anti-woke stuff has cooked some brains. Yes, it absolutely has. Curtis Sliwa will be the cat czar. Do not worry. Here is a thread of Deborah Messing's insane racist crash out over Mamdani on Instagram. And I wanted to show you the purest distillation of mania. The Mamdani maniacs that have lost their mind. Not that it's valid, but betting markets have Mamdani at 95%. Do not ever show me betting markets. In this broadcast, we stay away from, first of all, in an effort to instill Sharia, even before a potential Mamdani victory, I will tell you that gambling is haram, okay, number one. And number two, the betting markets. The betting markets can suck me from the back, okay? Gambling is haram, and if you do it, I will let the morality police know that you are engaging in this haram behavior, and they will throw you in prison. Do you understand me?
On a sticker? Yeah, I have a question. Why do you guys like crime so much?
We don't like crime.
You don't? No? So
No.
how do you feel about the NYPD? Yeah, good. You like crime? You like radical Islam? You like terrorism? You fund the NYPD?
No.
Oh, you don't? You know that Zoran has tweeted multiple times about defunding the police. You want to defund the NYPD?
I do.
Yeah, you do? That's good. I'm so glad to hear that you hate this city.
Oh my God. Amazing. Bro got the slightest whiff of power and went all authoritarian. Who's that, me? Who we talking about?
Saving New York City from socialism?
Oh.
He's gonna bankrupt this city. Good luck. You too. Have a fabulous day.
Oh, so awesome. So awesome. So amazing. Let's continue with the Zomentum. Voters at the polls nationwide across the country. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen.
This morning, New York City may be on the cusp of choosing a 34-year-old self-described Democratic socialist with little political experience as its 111th mayor.
Zoran Mamdani is facing off against independent and former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa.
While his opponents see nothing but fault, Zoran Mamdani's focus on affordability and a savvy social media-driven campaign striking a chord with voters looking for a change.
We stand on the verge of ushering in a new day for our city.
Mamdani tried to show a common touch, more like New Yorkers than their politicians.
Happy Jews, how we doing?
Visiting a club.
Let's go Knicks! Let's go Knicks!
Watching the Knicks from the nosebleeds, a contrast to his chief rival, Andrew Cuomo, who sat with the current mayor courtside. Cuomo, lagging in the polls, is accusing Mamdani of trying to turn the home of capitalism socialist.
My opponent is a socialist and wants to make New York City a socialist city, and socialism has not worked anywhere on the globe.
At the 11th hour, an endorsement for Cuomo from President Trump, who posted, "You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job," and threatening to withhold federal funds from the city if Mamdani wins.
Overnight, Cuomo trying to distance himself from Trump's endorsement.
He's not endorsing me. He's opposing Mamdani.
Mamdani calling Cuomo the president's puppet.
They share the same small vision. They share the same sense of impunity.
Trump called in to campaign events for Republican candidates in Virginia and New Jersey, where a bitter race between Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat Mikey Sherrill is barreling toward the finish line.
You need to go out and vote for Jack Ciattarelli, who's a great guy, a friend of mine.
The Trump-backed Ciattarelli hitting the trail with his son, who returned from serving overseas.
I could not be more excited. The energy up and down the state has been off the charts.
While Sherrill's trying to turn out key Democratic voters.
I believe that with all of you, New Jersey will continue to be a beacon of light and hope for people across the country, across the world, but certainly for people across New Jersey.
A year from the midterm elections, the elections today are an early test of what the country thinks of President Trump and his agenda. They're also a test, guys, for the Democratic Party and whether its future looks more like a moderate Mikey Sherrill or more like Zoran Mamdani. Guys?
Okay, Aaron, thanks. This is our Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein, also our Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce.